How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as
Okay, so I know there are a lot of guides on the internet, especially about Warden, since it's a very popular character, but I decided to make my own guide anyway. And the main reason is because the majority of guides that I saw, they are mostly like, you know, it's just a voiceover of the default videos that are included in the game. It's just giving the same information and just, you know, like voice acting basically. That's what I think anyway. I'll try to go a little bit deeper than that. And so we will begin with the normals. Normals are just basically your buttons. So when you're in neutral game, and neutral game is what happens now on the screen. Basically, I'm not comboing and all that. We're just like stare down and, you know, using pokes to damage each other. So his normals. First of all, he has a double light option. So if you connect with any lights from any side, it doesn't work from top, so from any side, you can confirm into one more light. You can basically time it perfectly, or you can just mash. There is no difference. If you keep mashing, they will come out. There is no strict timing. So this is a good combo filler. You will basically need it in Warden's Vortex, which is a very important thing. It will be covered later. So this is just used as a combo filler. Also, one cool thing that I know about this double light string is that it can be used to break Shugoki's armor. Since it's very fast, even, for example, Shugokis, they like to trade with other characters. So usually if they see you wind up your attack, they will wind up theirs. You will both get hit, but you will lose because he deals a fuck ton of damage. If you do this, if he winds up his attack, you will beat him. You will just score a free hit, because the first one will damage the armor and second one will damage him. And then also it gives you even more advantage, because he will be stripped of his armor, so you can continue with your pressure. So basically, if you see Shugoki, if you're sure that you will get hit, you can just go double light into shoulder charge and begin your pressure and just destroy Shugoki. So moving on, the top light. The top light is the best normal that Warden has. It's very fast, it has decent range, it's also a special parry. You can parry overhead attacks with a light instead of regular heavy. It will come out as like a flaming animation, whatever, and it will deal a lot of damage. And it's another good thing about having the top light is sometimes you can just score the random fucking special parry. If you just want to poke someone but they press the light button, there is a chance that you will just score a huge damage. It happens, trust me, it happens a lot. Because you use it majorly as a poking tool, as an opener to get in, to begin your pressure with the shoulder charge, to mix it up with something else. You can mix it up and then begin your shoulder charge or guard break. So you can go like this to right and then shoulder charge. You can go 1 into shoulder charge. You can go 1, 2 into shoulder charge, cancel, guard break. So there's a lot of options, and basically you can do it even on block or on whiff. So I'll try to get away from this. I whiff and I still can do this. It will catch people off guard, trust me. It's a very fucking good normal, and an overall very good tool. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because obviously good players will just see your top stance and they will block. It is not like something difficult to block, but first of all, like I said, you can begin your pressure even on block. So they block the first one, you pressure. The second thing is that I treat For Honor as any other fighting game, basically. because I play a lot of fighting games, and there is one thing that is called conditioning, and I use it a lot. That's how I play this game basically. If I know that I need my opponent to let me score an attack from top, for example, I need to make them afraid of my other attacks, basically. So that's why I use the zone attack. It always comes out from the same side, and you need to show your opponent that he should expect you to use it. So once you throw it in a couple of times, you will notice that your opponent now usually blocks from that side, because he expects you to hit him with a zone attack. And that is when... And also, yeah, another thing is that you can throw in zone attack from your top stance, so you're not giving away your intent that you want to actually score the top attack. So you keep throwing this, and once he's conditioned, you can attack with top light and begin your pressure. That's another trick that I use. So, moving on to heavies, I believe, because we will finish the normals. The heavies of Warden are relatively slow, I would say. They deal good damage, and the top one is the slowest. There are specific conditions to land it guaranteed. You can land top heavy off a wall bump if you begin your animation from the top stance. If you will begin from low, it will take much more time, because she takes time to switch her arms up. And it actually matters in terms of frame data in this game. So if you're from top stance, you can score guaranteed off a wall bump. But just trust me, again, due to, you can miscalculate your distance, you can fuck up your timing, it's a peer-to-peer connection games. I just don't recommend going for top light. It's just not worth it in my books. Always go for side heavy, it deals good damage, it's reliable, you will never miss it. So side heavy is guaranteed on guard break, obviously. And you use heavies, I use heavies, I mean, in two different options. First is I use the heavy to cash out on damage. Because, for example, let's imagine my opponent has 1 bar of HP. There is no point in doing double light for Vortex, because double light will not take 1 bar. So you just cash out with 1 heavy and you kill. It does more than 1 bar actually, I think, yeah, a little bit more. So if you're going for the kill, guard break for example, boom. Don't go for double lights, you need the max damage. Another thing that I use heavies in is obviously feinting. You can do this and parry bait. In terms of Warden, parry baits are extremely fucking important, because Warden has a special parry. So what you want to do, for example, during parry baiting is you guard break, side heavy, top heavy, feint. Because if they go for their heavy, you will parry it easy. But I will go into that a little bit later, I guess. So zone attack I explained. Now the one normal that he has is her sprinting attack. It is fast, no doubt. It deals weak damage, I would say it's weak. And it always comes out from the same direction, so it can be used as an opener sometimes, not against experienced players. It can be used definitely as a chasing tool, because she will launch towards the enemy when you're chasing someone. But apart from that, there are no uses for this. So moving on to combos, I believe. Yeah, so on high level of PvP play, you will always need feinting. You cannot. It's almost impossible to score a raw combo more than 2 hits. Even 2 hits is usually impossible. So for feinting, you usually go for double light into heavy feint, or heavy into heavy feint. This allows you to, and you should always feint in the overhead attack, because that's the strongest thing of Warden, his special parry, the light one. That's what you should do all the time. So, since he's not really a combo heavy character, he relies on his Vortex. I will move to Vortex. Okay, so Vortex is the bread and butter shit of Warden. For those who don't play fighting games, I will try to explain in my own words. Vortex is a type of combo that doesn't go for optimized damage. It's not max damage combo, but rather it goes for the option to reset your damage. So instead of doing, for example, 10 points of damage, you choose to do 7 points of damage, but with the chance to reset for another 7 points of damage, if that makes sense. So your double lights attack are used as a filler, and in the middle you need to make your opponent guess. You will go for double light shoulder charge or double light shoulder charge guard break. Shoulder charge option will catch those opponents who are either just blocking or who mash out their own attacks trying to punch you. And shoulder charge cancel into guard break will catch the opponents who try to dash to the sides and sometimes backwards as well. I believe, for example, Peacekeeper's backwards dash is too far away. It's situational. So basically, your opponent is a 50-50 guessing game. However, they can always just roll out, but it costs stamina. So for example, if you catch the opponent that is out of stamina, they cannot roll out, they just need to keep guessing all the time. And you can mix it up whatever you want. Just another major point is pay attention to your own stamina bar. So this is the Vortex. You can improvise and just make your flow however you want. But again, cashing out with a heavy damage. For example, you go Vortex, you go one more shoulder charge, and you see you're gonna get a kill, go for guard break, heavy. That's a cashing out. So your Vortex is stopped, you chose to go for the maximum damage possible. I will show you a couple of gameplay vids now, where I use two options to cash out. One option I use just, regularly. I see that the next heavy will kill the guy, I choose the heavy to kill. And the next option is that I do the Vortex, and then I use the heavy feint to parry bait. So in this clip I go for the cash out option to secure the kill. I finish my Vortex in the heavy, because I see it is going to kill the opponent and secure the win for me. Double light wouldn't kill him. In this fight I choose to cash out on damage with a heavy and then feint one more heavy. So here I feint, he takes the bait, tries to parry me but gets parried instead, and I secure the kill. Simple.
Round one.
So to conclude my little guide here, I would like to say, just to summarize. So Warden has very good normals. It's a very good character in the neutral game. I would say it's one of the characters like PK and maybe Orochi that kind of dictate the rule of the fight, how the fight goes. And you need to learn your distance with your pokes. You need to be good with your timing and to counterattack the opponents. You need to apply pressure a lot, because again, Warden is a pressure-based character in my opinion. Mix up your tools to get in. You have a lot of options as I showed you. If you have troubles landing the light overhead, condition them with your zone attack first from the top stance, so they don't know which one to expect, and mix it up. Once you condition them, go in. The parry bait is especially important for Warden, like I said, because of his special overhead parry that you can do. And that is basically it. There is not much to talk. Like, Warden is a Ryu of For Honor, basically. It's a simple character that is easy to learn but hard to master. That's what they say. So he is pretty limited in his kit, but if you use it smart, if you mix it up, if you condition your opponent, you will do just fine. It's a very strong character with decent speed, decent damage, and I think he's the best looking character in the game. Looks, you know, they go a long way. So I hope this guide helped you. I know it's not like fancy edited. I know that my microphone is not the best, but the purpose of this guide is just give you some tips, you know, like penetrating Shigoki's armor or conditioning your opponents, that kind of stuff. So I hope it helped at least someone, because I think if there is just one person that it helped, then, you know, it's a useful guide then.